Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. MTG Box Analysis here to take a look at Wilds of Eldraine in the draft booster box form. We've got ourselves a fully sealed and intact box here. It does come from a case where I have 3 of these, and we're going to open up the other boxes later on this week. But for today, let's just enjoy the journey of box number 1 and see how this thing performs. Now, as usual, at the end of this video, I'll be doing the full MTG Box Analysis, so make sure you stay tuned so you can see all the statistics and metrics for this box. With that, let's go ahead and set up our 36 packs so that way we can begin to get into these and see what kind of value we can find. All right, there we go. Pack number 1, we do have pull tabs, so these are Japanese printed, and that means that all the rares and mythics will be up top. This one's going to go ahead and kick off with a human token. And directly behind that, we are going to see a full art plains, very nice. And then we've got ourselves a Grasp of Fate from the Enchanting Tales subset. Then we're going to see ourselves Hydra's Crown of Winter as our first rare, Knight of Sweet's Revenge as our first uncommon, Totenna's Swarmpiper, a Cursed Courtier. Then we're going to see a Prophetic Prism, followed by a Hopeful Vigil, Crystal Grotto. Then we've got a Skewer Slinger with a Bastille Bloodline, Grand Ball Guest, a Mocking Sprite, Candy Grapple, and Aquatic Alchemist is going to be our last card there. Now, we won't go through every single common like we did in that pack because the most valuable common is valued less than 50 cents. There are 3 uncommons that we're looking for: Stroke of Midnight, Monstrous Rage, and Up the Beanstalk. So if we find any of those, I'll be sure to point them out. Now, this particular pack is going to go ahead and kick off with a human token. And directly behind that, we're going to see a Standard Island, a Misleading Moats in foil. Then we're going to pick up a Raid Bombardment from the Enchanting Tales with Rankle's Prank coming in from the main set with a Threadbind Cleek. Then we're going to see a Hearth Elemental and a Shrouded Shepherd, Charmed Clothier, and Evolving Wilds with a Hallow Scavenger. Then we're going to see a Redcapped Thief, followed by Brave the Wilds, Sugar Rush, and then we're going to see ourselves Balluna's Gatekeeper with an Eret's Whisper in the back. All right, 2 packs in the bag, no high value rares, but there is plenty of value in this set, plus the Enchanting Tales subset. All right, this particular pack kicks off with yet another human. Then we're going to see ourselves a Plains, followed by a Grave Pack. There's one of our big hitters, valued over $10, coming in from the Enchanting Tales subset. Awesome to see that card, and awesome to see it up front in the box. Directly behind that, we get ourselves another mythic, a Realm-Scorcher Hellkite. Unfortunately, this particular mythic not valued over $1. All right, directly behind that, we got ourselves a Dream Spoilers. Then we're going to see Gadwick's First Duel, followed by a Twisted Sewer Witch. Then we're going to see the Frostbridge Guard, followed by a Hopeless Nightmare. Then we've got Torch the Tower, Redtooth Genealogist, Gnawing Crescendo with Return from the Wilds, Obria's Attendants, a Sweet Tooth Witch, and then we're going to see ourselves a Freeze in Place. If you're looking for any singles from Wilds of Eldraine or any other set, feel free to stop by my TCG Player store. Helps support the channel, and you can shop like normal. So we got ourselves an island here, followed by a Discerning Financier coming in foil. And then we're going to see ourselves Garruk's Uprising with a Decadent Dragon coming in the showcase treatment. I love this frame. Then we're going to see ourselves a Tattered Ratter, first uncommon, with an Ego Drain. Then we're going to see an Imodane's Recruiter, followed by an Armory Mice, and a bunch of commons. All right, sliding into our next pack here. I figured that's how we'll kind of do the commons. We'll just fan them out and see if there's anything strange in the back. Usually WotC's pretty good about quality there. So we got ourselves a Royal Young Hero coming in here as a token, followed by a Swamp. Then we're going to see ourselves an Unnatural Growth coming in from the Enchanting Tales subset. Does hold some value for us. And then we're going to see ourselves a Tangled Colony coming in from the main set, followed by a Stone Splitter Bolt. And then we've got ourselves Back for Seconds, followed by a Glass Casket and our commons. From the main Wilds of Eldraine set, there are 4 cards that we're keeping an eye out for. We got the Moonshaker Cavalry, Virtue of Persistence, Beseech the Mirror, and Agatha's Soul Cauldron, all valued over $10. So this pack kicks off with Mountain, and directly behind that, we're going to see ourselves a Knightly Valor, followed by a Feral Encounter as our main set rare. Then we're going to see an Edgewall Inn with a Callous Sellsword. Then we're going to see ourselves a High Fae Negotiator, followed by a Living Lectern and commons. Now, we've already seen a little bit of value coming from the Enchanting Tale subset, but there are 8 cards valued over $10 that you can pull in a draft booster box, with the Ristic Study holding the top spot at nearly $50. So if you can pull one of those, that almost pays for half of your box. All right, this particular pack kicks off with a Beast token. Then we're going to see ourselves a Standard Island, followed by an Oversold Cemetery, rare coming in from the Enchanting Tale subset, with a Will, Scion of Peace, Mythic coming in from the main set, just not high value. Then we're going to see One Tough Cookie, followed by Greta Sweettooth Scourge, a Galvanic Giant, and some commons. Now, featured within the Enchanting Tale subset, there are 20 borderless cards. All 15 mythics plus 5 rares have been done in an anime borderless treatment, and 11 of these are valued over $10, and we can pull any of these in a draft booster box. All right, this pack kicks off with an Elemental, a Forest. Then we're going to see ourselves a Utopia Sprawl with a Song of Totenas coming in as our main set rare, followed by a Disdainful Stroke. And then we're going to see ourselves an Agatha's Champion with a Stroke of Midnight. This is going to be one of the uncommons that we're looking for, valued over $1. Hooray. All right. Moving into our next pack here, we're going to kick off with a non-token token. Then we're going to see ourselves a Swamp, followed by a Spreading Seas coming in from the Enchanting Tales with a Gumdrop Poisoner as our main set rare. Then we're going to see a Red Tooth Vanguard, followed by a Solitary Sanctuary, and an Ice Wrought Sentry as our last uncommon. All right, this pack kicks off with a monster. Then we're going to see ourselves a Mountain and a Forced Fruition coming in as a rare from the Enchanting Tales subset, followed by a Spellbook Vendor coming in from the main set. Then we get a Picnic Ruiner, followed by Johan, Apprentice Sorcerer, and Ash the Party Crasher. All right. This pack is going to kick off with a Fairy token, cool artwork there, with a full art plane. Then we're going to see ourselves a Gnawing Crescendo, our third foil of the box, pretty low foil count. Then we're going to see ourselves a Ground Seal, followed by a Likeness Looter coming in as our main set rare, just not high value. Then we're going to see ourselves a Tangle Span Lookout, followed by a Picklock Prankster. This used to be an uncommon valued over $1. Then we're going to see the Gallant Pie Wielder and commons. All right, moving into pack number 12, completing out the first stack. This one's going to kick off with a Human token, followed by a Forest. Then we're going to see Hyda's Crown of Winter coming in as our first foil rare from the main set. Very cool to see that. Unfortunately, just not high value. Then we're going to see an Intangible Virtue coming in from the Enchanting Tales with a Restless Vinestalk coming in as our main set rare. Unfortunately, the creature lands in this set just don't really hold a ton of value. Now our first uncommon of this pack is going to be Sir Armont the Redeemer, followed by a Two-Headed Hunter. Then we've got an Archive Dragon. All right, so that completes stack number 1. Moving into pack 13 here. In case you weren't aware, prior to Wilds of Eldraine, there was a set back in 2019 called Throne of Eldraine. That was the original Eldraine set, and probably one of my favorite sets, kind of moving into that fairy tale landscape. Very cool. Of course, this is the sequel, so not as good. We got ourselves an island, followed by a Compulsion. Then we're going to see ourselves a Spiteful Hexmage coming in as our main set rare. Then we're going to see 3 Bowls of Porridge with Shari of Numbing Depths coming in as our second uncommon with a Cheeky House Mouse. All right, sliding into this next pack here. This one's going to kick off with an On the Adventure token here. Basically, it's where you put all your Adventure Exile cards. We got a Forest, followed by a Bitter Chill coming in foil with a Dragon Mantle. Then we're going to see a Lord Skitter's Blessing coming in as our main set rare, followed by a Spellscorn Cavern coming in here. Then we're going to see Neva Stalked by Nightmares, and Welcome the Sweettooth as our last uncommon. So this particular pack kicks off with a Monster and a Sorcerer token, followed by a Swamp. And then we're going to see ourselves a Primal Vigor coming in from the Enchanting Tales subset. This card is valued over $5. And then we're going to see ourselves a Hornlock Whale coming in that beautiful showcase frame. Unfortunately, not high value. Then we get a Howling Galefang, followed by a Ruby Daring Tracker. And then we're going to see Chancellor of Tales. Still hoping to see one of the big hits from the main set. Haven't seen that yet. Got ourselves a Rat token, followed by a Mountain. And we're going to pick up an As Foretold coming in from the Enchanting Tales subset. And then we've got ourselves the Huntsman's Redemption Saga coming in as a rare from the main set with a Monstrous Rage. Very cool. Oh yeah, Monstrous Rage is valued over $1 and the most valuable uncommon in the set. Gingerbread Hunter, Splashy Spellcaster, and commons. All right, looks like we got another adventure token up front. Then we're going to see ourselves a Plains, followed by a Stab Wound. Ouch. Then we're going to see our Farsight Ritual coming in as our main set rare with a Collector's Vault. Oh, thought there were 2 cards there. The Collector's Vault, Graceful Takedown. Then we're going to see ourselves a Frolicking Familiar. So if I'm doing this video right, I'm fast forwarding through all the commons. Let me know what you think of that. So we got ourselves a Mountain here, followed by a foil Territorial Witchstalker. Then we've got an Impact Tremors with a Restless Bivouac, another one of the cards from the land cycle. Again, not high value, with an Abria Dreaming Duelist, a Bitter Chill, and then we're going to see ourselves a Dutiful Griffin. If I'm not mistaken, I think we're still missing one uncommon valued over $1, and that's the Up the Beanstalk. It's rare to kind of get duplication of uncommons, but it's not impossible, so let's keep an eye out for that. So we got ourselves a treasure token here, followed by an island, and then we're going to see ourselves a Dark Tutelage coming in from the Enchanting Tales with a Raging Battle Mouse coming in from the main set as our rare. Then we get an Embereth Veteran, followed by an Eerie Interference, and Lord Skitter's Butcher. All right, so we got ourselves a food token here. Yum. Just take a look at that. Would you eat that? All right, so now we got a Cereal Swamp, followed by a Leyline of Abundance coming in. This is our foil rare from the Enchanting Tales subset. Very cool to see that, but not high value. Then we're going to see ourselves a Curiosity, followed by Ashiok Wicked Manipulator coming in. Mythic from the main set. Lowest value mythic in the set. Then we got ourselves a Tempest Heart, Belligerent of the Ball, and a Witchstalker Frenzy. Alright, so we're probably around the halfway point here. Box is looking a little sad. Got ourselves a Royal Young Hero, an Island, followed by a Sanguine Bond. Very cool to see that. And behind that, we're going to see ourselves a Moonshaker Cavalry coming in from the main set. Finally, all you have to do is complain and a good card appears. Now this card looks a little bit yellow. I'll see if I can't find another one to compare it to. So we got ourselves a Troyan Gutsy Explorer, a Fairy Fencing coming in with a Stormkeld Vanguard. Alright, in case you're wondering why I fan out the commons, even though there aren't any of value, you never know what you're going to find in the back of a pack. You know, they do produce millions of cards, so there's always a chance that an error can occur. So there you go. So we got ourselves a Swamp, followed by a Leyline of Sanctity coming in from the Enchanting Tale subset with Sir Ginger the Meal Ender coming in, everyone's favorite card from the main set. Then we're going to see a Royal Treatment, Soul Guide Lantern, and a Tenacious Tome Seeker. Alright, this pack kicks off with a Rat. Now we're going to see a beautiful Full Art Island, followed by Season of Growth, with Talion's Messenger coming in as our main set rare. Then we're going to see a Threadbind Clique with Twisted Fealty. And then directly behind that, we got ourselves the Witch's Vanity. Alright, final pack in stack number 2, pack number 24, if everything was equally stacked. So we got ourselves a Monster Sorcerer with a Plains. And then we're going to see ourselves a Warehouse Tabby coming in foil. Very cool. With Vampiric Rites and Devouring Sugar Maw coming in as our main set rare. Then we're going to see a Discerning Financier with the Princesses Takes Flight, Taken by Nightmares, and commons. All right, let's go a little old school pack opening. See if we can't change our luck. Kind of like rolling the dice with your left hand. All right, we've got ourselves a Royal Young Hero. And then we're going to see ourselves a Swamp with a Grasp of Fate and a Werefox Bodyguard coming in as our main set rare. Let's go ahead and compare that to the Moonshaker Cavalry. Yeah, you can kind of tell it's very different yellow, and that's not the camera, that's in real life. All right, so we got ourselves a Tattered Ratter, followed by an Aret's Tempting Apple, and then we're going to see Succumb to the Cold. All right, moving into our next pack here, we've got ourselves some more gloppy food, a Mountain. Then we're going to see a Hatchling Plans coming in from the Enchanting Tales, with Gruff Triplets coming in from the main set. Then we're going to see, there we go, Up the Beanstalk, our third and final uncommon, valued over $1. Hooray, now we've completed the cycle with a Knight of Doves, and we're going to see a Fairy Dream Thief. So this pack is going to kick off with a Monster Sorcerer. Then we're going to see ourselves a Full Art Forest, followed by a Land Tax Mythic coming in from the Enchanting Tales subset, valued over $10. Awesome to see that in one of these packs. Wish it was the anime, but that's okay. All right, and right behind that, we're going to see ourselves a Borderless Restless Fortress. Love my lands, love that art. Then we get ourselves a Disdainful Stroke coming in as our first uncommon, a Tough Cookie, and Agatha's Champion. All right, moving into our next pack here, we got ourselves a Night Token, followed by a Mountain. Then we've got ourselves a Rotisserie Elemental coming in as another foil rare from the main set. Very nice. And behind that, we're going to see ourselves a Griffin Airy with Imodane the Pyrohammer coming in as our main set rare. Then we get Johan Apprentice Sorcerer, Twisted Sewer Witch, and Shari of Numbing Depths. Got ourselves the Royal Young Hero with a Plains, and then we're going to see a Raid Bombardment coming in, followed by Expel the Interlopers. If I'm not mistaken, this was the Buy a Box promo and therefore not high value. Then we're going to see, right behind that, a Corvul and the Noble Thief, followed by Sir Armont the Redeemer and an Ice Wrought Sentry. Got ourselves another Royal Young Hero here. Lots of these tokens in this particular box. We're going to see a Forest, followed by a Tanglespan Lookout coming in as a foil uncommon. Then we're going to see ourselves a Karmic Justice. This is going to be one of the anime borderless. Unfortunately, if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be the least valuable anime borderless in the set, but that's okay. Love it. I will take it. This was just a draft box, so my expectations weren't that high from a value perspective. And then behind that, we're going to see ourselves a Restless Spire coming in. And we've got a Woodland Acolyte, followed by Knight of Sweet's Revenge, and an Ashiok's Reaper. All right, this pack kicks off with the Plains, followed by an Edgewall pack in foil. Then we're going to see ourselves a Compulsion, followed by the Apprentice's Folly coming in as another saga from the main set with an Edgewall in, Greta Sweet Tooth Scourge, and Glass Casket. All right, moving into our next pack, we got ourselves an On the Adventure token with a Standard Forest. Then we're going to see ourselves a Dragon Mantle coming in, uncommon from the Enchanting Tales subset. Then we've got a Decadent Dragon, rare coming in from the main set, with a Tanglespan Lookout, Ash Party Crasher, and Back for Seconds. Alright, looks like we got ourselves another non-token token here with Full Art Swamp. Then we're going to see a Fraying Sanity coming in from the Enchanting Tales subset, very cool. And then we're going to see the end. Hopefully it's not the end of the value. Then we get 3 Bowls of Porridge, Red Tooth Vanguard, and a Cursed Courtier. I think we're down to 3 packs to go. Still chance to see high value, fingers crossed. We got ourselves a Wicked Cursed with a Plains. Then we're going to see ourselves a Picnic Ruiner coming in a foil there, followed by a Utopia Sprawl. Then we're going to see Archon of the Wild Rose and Boundary Land Ranger, High Fae Negotiator with a Galvanic Giant coming in. All right, this pack is going to start off with a food token. Then we're going to see ourselves an Island, followed by a Hardened Scales coming in, is valued over $1, so we'll take it. And then we're going to see a Virtue of Knowledge coming in from the main set. I'm a huge fan of the Virtue series. Unfortunately, that one's just not high value. Then we get a Callous Sellsword, a Hearth Elemental, and an Imodane's Recruiter. All right, final draft booster pack, and then we'll jump into the MTG Box Analysis. All right, so this one's going to kick off with some food, followed by a Full Art Mountain, and then we're going to see a Knightly Valor with a Frostbane Troll coming in as our last rare, and then we get a Solitary Sanctuary, Gadwick's First Duel, Shrouded Shepherd, Ginger Brute, Armory Mice, Evolving Wilds, Skewer Slinger, Bestial Bloodline. Then we're going to see a Grand Ball Guest, a Mocking Sprite, and a Candy Grapple with an Aquatic Alchemist in the back. All right, so I'll get it all sorted, organized, and be right back with the MTG Box Analysis. Get early access to videos, download the analysis for every box open on the channel, and personally DM me, just like these fine people, all by becoming a member of the channel through YouTube or over at mtgboxanalysis.com. You'll find links in the description. Until next time, do something amazing.